Thank you very much. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we are. The finale, the main event. Ah, it's good to be back home in America after visiting people in Australia and the United Kingdom. And like I said, kids, I got a queenie. I got a queen. I got a queenie love. Whoo, babe. And it was well worth it. It's been over a year in the making, you gorgeous Hunskins and loves. Oh, what can I say? I said, queen. I said, oh, I didn't say this yet. Oh, mom, a best-selling author, a law of attraction specialist, and much, much more. I discovered this sweetheart last year by way of one Blair Hayse. Hi, Blairkins, if you're listening to this, please respond to me if you actually are watching this. I've been asking for you about the last few days regarding one magical miracles. I would like to start my work on it, beloved. Thank you very much. All right, with that said, thank you very much. I value you in respects, Ashley Ahmadzai. Welcome to Black Lion's Domain for what Zachary Shiloh calls universal grounding. Hun,
Love, love, love. And thank you so much for having me. I'm honored to be here. I was previewing some of the former episodes and amazing guests. I love what you're bringing to your audience.
thank you very much. I appreciate it. Oh, you're gonna lose your junk with the previous episode. I have yet to actually upload it. Oh, oh my God, my journey has been almost two, two seasons now. 3 seasons, excuse me, soon to be 3 seasons. Woof. What an interview segment I've had. And you, my love, you are a highlight. So again, thank you, thank you, thank you. What episodes have you listened to, if I could ask?
I listened to three, definitely Blair Hayes, and there was another gal whose name started with an M, and she was talking about her journey with bipolar disorder and kind of being tied together with a smile and that being her mask. And that's the one I really was tuning into. And I love what I love most about these episodes is that they are real, they are raw, they're truly unfiltered, and we are talking about in discussing topics that can sometimes be seen as taboo. And whether it's the journey of motherhood and the truth behind the scenes of being in the hospital, for example, like with Blair, or I forgot this gal's name. She was so powerful and her energy is so potent. She focuses on meditation and mindfulness and music and talking about her journey with mental health. And it was just so profound and powerful. And those are the people that I work with as well. People who have trauma, people who are truly living the good, the bad, the everything in between. And so very inspirational stories. And we have been elevated to a position such as this to be alive during this time, to experience these things. And so I just see everybody as my brothers and my sisters holding hands, even in the virtual space, because we're in this together.
Aww, appreciate it. Okay, so you heard our chat with Blair and somebody with the name. I'm trying to remember. I've done Oh God, it feels like it's been just yesterday with some of
Oh,
them.
so one of them, it was with Marissa
Oh,
Emo.
Marissa Imo. Now, hi, Mari. Mari
Yeah.
Hunt. Hunt. She actually was doing something earlier today, and I'm gonna tag her in this episode. So, Mari Hunt or Hunter. She actually thought I was calling her Hunt, or my audience hunts. So I have this ridiculous thing now of going, oh, hi, you beautiful Hunt, just for her. So, Mari, again, thank you very much for coming on. That was a very fun talk, especially towards the end. Oh, God. And I can see myself now. Oh, my audience thinks she's bullshit. That she's kind of laughing. All right, my dear Ashley, I understand we're on a time limit. So, can you please give my listeners your background, hun?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm so proud of you for saying my name right and correctly. I am Ashley Ahmadzai. I know it can be a tricky one. And I'm a clairvoyant success coach and manifestation mentor for high performing women around the world in helping entrepreneurs, realtors, professionals, corporate executives elevate their lifestyle, their income, and most importantly, our impact from mediocre to magical. So, from a professional standpoint, that is what I do today. And I'm so honored and so grateful to be in this space. And to answer the question of my background, I'm so grateful that everything I have gone through has led me to this powerful profession and career that I have today. And so, just briefly, I have this long history of trauma, which many people do, but some significant things such as being taken away by social services, being left on a doorstep when I was still in high school, having cancer and going through that alone, having my heart stop, and then like actually went into cardiac arrest and CPR saved my life, and then eventually becoming a single mom and having all of this potential and all of these big dreams and feeling like I was doing my best to swim, but I was always drowning and I was always attracting these lower vibrational experiences into my life and I didn't understand. And even as a child, experiencing severe abuse, and as I'd mentioned, like to the point of being taken away by social services, I was always asking why. Like, if there was truly a God or these angels that people talked about, like, why would this happen to me? Why would I get cancer? Why would I? And so my perspective for a long time was kind of the victim mindset of like, why? Like, what am I doing wrong? So there was this moment when I was a single mom and my daughter, I had stepped out as a single mom. She was just a couple months old and I was not able to ask the question anymore, why me? Instead, it was, I needed to step into a more powerful version of myself and have a more powerful conversation because it wasn't just about me. It was about this beautiful little baby with these gorgeous blue eyes who looked at me through this lens of trust and knowing. And I remember when she was born, I was like, "Are you sure? Like, I don't know what I'm doing here." But this little baby believed in me so, so much. And so it really helped me change the narrative. And rather than, why is this happening to me? It's always gonna, of course, this is gonna happen. I would just allow all this stuff to dump into my energy field. I started asking a different question. And it was like, what could I do from here? What is the solution? What does that look like? Rather than just laying on my back and saying, of course it's going to happen. So that really started my journey. And again, bringing it back to my daughter, there was this moment. Zachary, I know that you and I are in the book series with Blair Hayse, who we love so, so much. She is
Uh-huh.
series. And in this book, I talk specifically about this very pivotal moment in my life with my daughter. And I did end up getting on WIC, which is a government funded program for women, infants, and children. If you aren't able to afford nourishment for your child. And it was just mortifying. And nobody, if they're in any sort of welfare situation or needing to be on WIC, nobody should be ashamed of that because it truly is a stepping stone. However, for me, I had a career for myself before getting pregnant. Like I was doing my best always, and to be at this rock bottom where I couldn't even afford food for my daughter was
Mhm.
really a gut wrenching experience for me. So the first time I had to use that WIC card brought me to my knees. And I remember getting in the car, a little baby in the back seat, and I just cried into the steering wheel. And I was like, how do I get out of this? I'm tired of telling myself, like, oh, of course, this is happening to me. Like, how do I get out of it? There are other people who are abundant, other people who have wealth and luxury and happiness and great relationships and health. Like, if they can do it, I know that I can too. Like, God, angels, guides, universe, all that be, whatever it is, show me how. And this download came in, and a very audible voice came into my space, and it said, the wait is over. Your time is now. And that absolutely changed everything to me because I didn't fully know where it came from or what it meant. I just knew to my core that that was going to be my truth from here on out, that I was on my path to find the right answers to get me to where I was meant to be. And so, with that, it really sparked my journey to realize that a lot of the trauma that had happened in my life, with each thing that had happened at each experience, I was top abundance blockers, which is now what I focus on professionally, suppressed emotions, trapped energies, limiting beliefs. They're really built from our childhood. And so, with each of these experiences of trauma, it was suppressed emotions and trapped energies and the horrible things that my very abusive parents had said and done. And even like ex-boyfriends, I was gathering all of this data that supported the original belief that I was going to be a failure and I was this loser. And so in this moment with my daughter, it wasn't about me. The wait is over, my time is now. I realized that I need to start unwiring and releasing and undoing all of those entanglements of those former beliefs in order for me to move forward. And so now that's what I do and specialize in today, is clearing those abundance blockers and knowing that in entrepreneurship and as a professional, there are of course like marketing and strategy and all these things we want to do to grow and scale our business. But really the secret is in our energy system and it's in our mindset. And that is the number one key that most coaches are missing when it comes to their practice. And so we really got to focus on ourself first. And when we heal ourself, we can heal the world. We can heal generations previously, we can heal generations to come. And that became incredibly pivotal and critical for me because I did not want my daughter to carry on the limiting beliefs that I had. I did not want my daughter to carry on with the suppressed emotions of guilt and shame and not enough and embarrassment. I didn't want that for her. It was time. The wait is over. My time was now to rewrite my entire story in my entire life. And I'm so grateful that I have, because my life looks wildly different today. In fact, beyond what I ever could have imagined at the time. And I'm so proud of that. And I teach other women how to do the same. And I'm smiling now because my daughter is an incredible manifester. She's only 6. And I can tell you the stories of the things that she manifests. I'm like, how did you do that? Oh, right. when you when you clear the blocks, then the abundance is out there for you. We do not create abundance. It is always out there. That luxury, that abundance that I knew in my heart was there when I was like crying in the steering wheel. And I'm like, I can see it. It's out there waiting for us. That's why we have that desire on our heart. We don't create abundance, but instead we create the blocks. And those blocks are the suppressed emotions, trapped energies, limiting beliefs, psychological addictions, all of those things that I specialize in releasing. And so my daughter, seeing her as this free spirit who is so supported on many, many levels, I'm very conscious as a mother, especially. I'm like, wow, you are incredible. This new generation we are in for it.
Oh, love. I'm in awe of your kid. I've actually seen some of your Instagram stuff and other things that the child has been through. It's been amazing. And funny, I was gonna ask you about She Is Magic too. Thank you for beating me to the punch. That's why you're a queen. Huh? More or less, yeah. Oh man. The thing of my journey in the last near 2 years, it's been amazing. To think I was a type 2 diabetic who was overweight and chronically depressed. Oh God. Lost my fiance. And previously on Black Lions Aerospace Kids, I actually did cry towards the end of the episode. I seriously did. So if you are in the Nether Space Kids, please go and listen to that episode. But it's well worth me crying because I did see the good that I've done. I've asked the question, and I'm not afraid to ask you it too. I asked Victoria Maskell of the Prosperity and oh, what's this crazy? Oh, thank God for cell phones, kids. I
Yeah.
try to remember everything, and sometimes I want. Okay, Victoria Hun, my dear. Okay, there we go. The Positivity and Prosperity podcast. Please find it on Anchor, Spotify, and all other forms of where I can be listened to. I appreciate it. And speaking of Victoria, thank you again for making my dreams come true. Oh man, oh man. I did not know at that point in time that my dreams could be just written out, manifested, whatever words you want to use. I just thought, okay, if I want my dreams to come true, I'll just work hard and get it, no matter what. Oh man, things I've accomplished in nearly 2 years, and especially you coming into my peripheral vision, love. We're getting to that shortly. Oh man, I reversed my diabetes. I lost my weight. People were noticing. They were saying, dude, why don't you write a book? And I said, oh, me, write a book. Yeah, you actually lost the weight. You did all this jazz. Why don't you write about it? I said, okay, okay. If you're curious. All I did was originally lose my weight, and all of a sudden they're asking me how I did it. And then the closest thing I actually did to writing the book was actually writing out guidelines like, okay, I get on my knees and pray. I actually write in a journal, this, that, and the third. I'm listing like steps one by one by one. And it kind of caught like wildfire. So in a sense, oh wow. Okay. Oh God, you're very, very good, hon. You're very, very good before I even say anything else. Oh man, I was a bestseller before I ever met you or Blair Hayes. Now I'm thinking about it. Oh wow. Okay. I did create some guidelines and then I sent it around the office I was working at. And then some people outside of the office were asking me how to do it. I printed the same guidelines and gave it to them. So it caught like wildfire. Oh wow, I really am a bestseller before I even wrote a book. Oh man. And now the book, the actual book saga. Everybody knows my story with Blair and whatnot. Amazing. Amazing. Still to me, nearly 2 years later, how it came along. The original Black Lion's Roar, how it went from 17 pages to 5, how I learned under our dear mutual friend and mentor. And it's amazing whenever I think of the Blarkins sometimes. Like right now, oh man. And looking at you, I'm still in awe that you and I both finished off books that she actually did. Like you finished off to me, I finished off They Are Magic. I was reading your chapter again and I said, oh, we got something else in common, me and this beautiful heart. We actually made a vintage Blair, look, Blair books. God, that's amazing. Amazing manifestation right there. I didn't expect that in my first go. I was thinking I was going to possibly be like maybe opening chapter or midway. I remember somebody in our Magic family, I think it was Tammy Lambrow, who's supposed to come back, hopefully in November. She actually posted in Blair's post on it. Like, oh, who's actually opening up the actual Their Magic book? Tammy chimed in, Zachary Shiloh. And I said, oh, Blairkins, is it a certain roar? And then she said, no, but congratulations, you actually got the last chapter. I said, what? What? I got the last chapter. Blair, wow, thank you. I literally was taken back when I look at it. I'm still in awe to this day. And I always bow humbly and I say, thank you, Blair. Seriously. Especially when I returned. I had no clue where I was going to be. I thought probably I'd be in the early pages because I handed my stuff early. But then I read Letters of Magic. History repeats itself. I didn't have to try to succeed. It happened. Blair, I love you. I love you wholly. Oh God. I still jazz out to this day. Me and Brooke Coleman are the last two chapters. I'm the second to last, and the Perron who has to be on here. And Brooke, I hope you're listening to this one day. I'm not giving up on you coming on here. I know you're still writing your own solo book, but you're gonna come on here, Perron. We need to roar about this. Yes, we do. Oh man, oh man. Blair, Blair, Blair. I miss her so much.
I know.
How's
So
she?
sweet. I was actually just messaging her this morning. I was like, "Hey, I'm listening to your episode with Zachary."
Thank you. Oh, and whenever she comes around, I stop what I do just like that and go talk to her for a while. And it's always felt right. But now I miss her because she's back to corporate America. She's doing PR stuff. Wow. And I'm asking her different things now. Is Fame still going on next week? Uh, the Influence Tour, is that still gonna happen? Magical Miracles, that's the number one with the bullet now. I want to start my work on that book. I want to start my book on that. Black Lions Roar 6. I don't know what I'm gonna actually call it. Oh, My Magical Farewell, maybe? Or uh Elite Beginning. Hmm. Yeah, maybe one of those two. All right, love. I'll talk about other manifestations somewhere down the line. All right, love. How did you actually get into the actual She is Magic 2? Because I understood that you actually did want to tell your story at some point. But how did you really get in with Blair?
Yeah, so Blair and I have become close friends over the years. I think it's something that just like an automatic click. She's somebody who's a very much a soul sister. And we follow each other on social media. I originally was introduced to her through summits, and that was one of my first baby experiences, even as a speaker, which was really exciting. And then when the opportunity presented itself to be featured in She is Magic, which I definitely resonate with as a brand and as a title. I knew that I had to say yes. And I was really nervous to share my story because there's could be a little controversy, involved with what I was sharing. And there are many different aspects and facets of the chapter that I discussed. And so I was definitely nervous about it, but I also knew, and I do know, that you can't say the right thing to the wrong person or the wrong thing to the right person. And so my intention with any time I show up on camera, or whether it's written content or social media content, whatever it is as long as I'm coming from the heart and I have the intention, I just have to change one life. One life. If I can help one person shift their perspective, then I'm here for it. So it wasn't about perfection, although I really wanted to put a lot of intention into it, which I did. And so that's really what led to me being in the book, was having this source of, I have a message to share, but I have this message to share with the intention to inspire other people. And so that's what allowed me to jump in and say yes.
Oh man, I still remember that actual moment where Blair actually came on my show last year. It was exactly 1 year ago in 3 days' time from now. Uh, we've already negotiated for her to come on because I know she doesn't really do podcasts. So I did what I'm doing right now for you, love. Believe it or not, kids, if you can see me, I'm wearing a blazer. And that's what I did for Blair. But that was a more checkered looking one. And it just felt right. I talked to Blair like a little boy, heterosexual boy, would actually talk to a heterosexual girl. And I said this time again, that is like talking to your crush for me. And it just felt right. I cannot place my finger on it. It just felt right. We just talked for about half an hour, maybe 40 minutes. And somewhere before the episode ended, I don't know how I did it, but Blair became my mentor right there and then. She offered me my slot in the unnamed They Are Magic. right on there. And to this day, I'm still humble and grateful for it. And for me, I even said this to Blair, and you can testify this. I felt like Blair Hayes was pulling my leg. I felt like she was actually jiving me for a second, but she wasn't. She wasn't.
She's truly incredible. Anything that woman does, I will follow her. She's one of those people in the world that, especially in the as a woman, and as we're rising through the ranks and our voice is being heard, we do have a lot of generational pain and trauma as women. You know, is within our, our grandparents' lifetime that women were even able to vote. And so now that we're able to be, featured in books and to be on stage and the power that we have now, Blair really leads the way for that, and she's always like many steps ahead of of so many of us in the entrepreneurial space. And I'm honored to know her, honored to be a part of those programs, whether it's a summit or it's a talk or it's a conference or it's a book, whatever that is. Yeah, definitely for everybody who's listening, would recommend to check out any of the series, any of the books within the series that have been published by Blair Hayes and her PR company as well.
Uh-huh. She knows what she's doing, and I will never challenge the Blarkins. It's like night and day and night. She can take you from feeling very, very small about your own opinions to raise you up to the highest pinnacle you can go. And you would be like 1 year later, not even a year later. They Are Magic came out February this year. And I knew Blair for not even a year. That moment that the book came out, I felt like I definitely was on even terms with her. And I remember after it was all said and done and I was heading to bed, I think I did get on my knees and cry because the next day I was a best-selling author. And for months on end, I won't shut up about it. On this podcast, whatever I'm working, I always say these words. I'm a best-selling author. Nobody can take that away from me. And Blair Hayes led that way. I always say that how I transitioned what I had in BLR to what it became was because of Blair. She actually had a Zoom call in December. I goofily said November, but it was December. And she was talking about her daughter Millie, and I think she was talking about the teenager, but I think in the back of my mind now, she was more so talking about River Rose and how she would want her daughter to read it. And I said, okay, I'm not going to cuss in this. I'm not going to cuss in this. And I took that chapter and turned it into five within less than a week. And people to this day, even including my business partner, Mayoko Fukino, who was in She Is Magic Always, and Letters of Magic. She always asked me, how did you get it done? Maya Chen, I actually listened to Blair. That's it. I listened to Blair. I listened to her. I took what she taught in that Zoom call. And then the rest was history. And here I am sitting with you as a bestseller, like you are. She's always in awe, is Mayuko Fukino. Speaking of which, hi Mayuko. I did respond to you, hon. Hopefully you can actually get back to me either today or tomorrow. I hope so. Funny you actually did talk about like a virtual summit. Are you actually gonna attend this one for Blair's coach, or shall we say, or or shall I say, our coach, Crystal Ann Davis?
Oh, that is the Queen something. Yes, I do have it in my calendar because I've heard of Blair's coach and that she's had massive results. And also because as we grow and scale business, it's really beautiful. I remember when I was a single mom, my income goal was 2,000 a month. I'd be so happy for that. And then it was $20,000 a month. And so, yeah, I do believe with this upcoming class, we're going to be focusing on, F six figures. Let's talk about 2 million. And things
Yeah, hon, that's what I was getting ready to say. Uh, fuck the 6 million. Fuck the thousands. Let's get it to 10 million. I said what? What is
Yeah, it's a really exciting conversation to have, and this is such a beautiful time to have it because we are limitless with the resources that we have and what people are looking for. They want that support. People want to have that independence as they grow and scale their business and they share their ideas, whether it's online or brick and mortar or whatever that is. So, yes, I'm very excited for this training.
Yeah. Okay, I just pulled up Facebook. Ladies and gentlemen, excluding children, or please get rid of your kids right now for what I'm about to say or repeat. All right, so Crystal Ann Davis is hosting a lovely class tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I will be there. I will be there. I wanted to tell you that in private, Ash. All right, so mommies and daddies, you're gonna want to cover your kids' ears or tell them get out the room for 10 seconds. All right, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. All right, shift voice. You're gonna have to get your kids out the room. You got 4 more seconds. Okay, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, for the next few seconds, Queen class, fuck your 10,000. Let's get to 10 million. That's the title. Oh God. All right, mommies and daddies. I think you can bring your kids back. Oh man, Crystal, oh, I love you so. God, you, you. No wonder I wanted you as my coach last year at the end. Oh, you are mega blunt. I want you on my show. I don't know where. I don't know when. I'm gonna get you on here eventually. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. That's gonna be in my vibration. Oh man. Speaking of vibrations, Ashley, uh, how did you really like come across the actual law of attraction? Because a good lot of your success you attributed to the actual universal law of attraction. So how did you get into it?
Yeah, I believe when I was 16, I was first introduced to the book The Secret. Um, and that was a beautiful, it opened my eyes to a whole new possibility. And I kind of dabbled with those exercises to see what it would, how would I be able to manifest in my life? What would that look like? And I was so grateful that it allowed me a new perspective on life, that it wasn't, again, like happening to me, it was happening for me. And I could actually be a co creator in that space. Um, but I wasn't really able to master it until because we're always manifesting. We are always in manifesting. There are many laws that go into the process of manifestation,
Hmm.
but law of attraction is the number one that most people recognize, and we talk about that in The Secret. Um, and so I wasn't able to like really manifest fully with intention. I felt like I was always manifesting backwards. Like I would want to manifest something and then it would happen for somebody else. Like it just wasn't quite working for me. And so once I become a single mom and my whole experience changed, that's when I really started to dial in. And actually, what I began to do um, is not read the resources. I started to tune in and pray. And I started to download my own information about how to manifest and what those blocks were and what did I need to do. And that's something that I continue to do today as a thought leader. Is I never wanted to copy anybody's work, which I see a lot in the online space. It's just like copy and paste, people saying the same thing. And I really wanted to have that integrity when it comes to manifestation because it is such a complex concept, and there are many different aspects and understandings of that. And so once I started meditating and really asking, hey, what are my next steps, and started becoming more strategic in that, I was able to come up with my own formula of what the steps were to successfully manifest. um, And then I just got better and better and better at it. And when I realized too, part of that magic was myself, like for me, as I was clearing my blocks and as I continue to do that, and as I do that, I'm able to shine even brighter. And that's actually a huge secret with my clients too, is when they're able to get in my space and I'm able to share with them the possibility, they're able to see it. It's like having a big bright candle. And as I do my work and someone comes to me and maybe their candle isn't lit or maybe it's really dim and I can just use mine to light theirs. And
Oh,
that's part of the magic too, because when I light their candle, they can light somebody else's and somebody else's. And that's why, as I shared in the beginning, the importance of once you have these tools, these sacred like tools that are not only downloaded that I've experienced in this lifetime, but also tools that have been passed down for centuries and generations. When you have these methodologies and you know how to use it, you truly do get to heal generations previous, and you get to have the tools to heal your family for life and to support your family for life. So that way you are calling things in with intention. And so I learned, I have a background as a psychic. I don't share that very much because some people freak out. It's like, so I don't talk about it very much, but I am very psychic. And I've gone to psychic school. I've worked with two of the top psychics in the world. And so when I mentioned being a clairvoyant success coach, that's really what it is. Clairvoyance is the ability to see mental image pictures with your eyes
ooh.
open. It's basically with your third eye. And so when I'm working with people, I can identify blocks. I can identify, hey, here, even as I'm listening, or sometimes when I'm in their space, I'll get a download of like, oop, here is where we need to work. Here's where we need to focus. And then a vision will come in that will help clarify. So when they get into my space, whether it's on a virtual call or it's on a clarity call or something like that, I can tune in and tap into that information with their permission, of course, and see, hey, what is the block that's holding you back? What is it that we need to shift and let go of? And so having these tools and knowing how to clear it for ourselves and knowing how to spot it is so incredibly powerful. And you do become unstoppable because you're not afraid of, is this going to happen? Is it not? Like, you really learn how to work with your own energy system, how to tune into your own guidance. And then also you're clearing your own blocks. So you're seeing and experiencing life through a lens of clarity and possibility.
Oh, I am still in awe of myself since I was little. I always thought that I was just imagining my grandfather, but I think I may have tapped into something unknowingly, and he was there. I never met my father's father, and it would only be dampened for a little bit, and then as I got older, it would come out a little bit more. I'm not ashamed of my actual heritage on the supernatural front. Excuse me, kids. Uh, 16. That I will never forget that age ever, ever. That was the point that I believed that it truly started to shine the most. I was gonna die. I wanted to kill myself. Seriously. Because I wasn't getting anywhere. Certain people I'm living with were getting on my case about grades. I wasn't attracting any females. If I was, then uh, they weren't attracted me. They weren't attracting me. So I said, you know what? I've had about enough of this. I don't know what I was gonna do. I think I maybe was gonna jump out a window, but I could hear a voice say, "Don't go through with it. You have a purpose. You may not see it, but you have to become an adult. You are being looked after." And when all that happened, I got on my knees. I cried and I endured for more years. And then eventually, somebody or a couple of females did come into my life that I needed at those points. The two that I think of the most, one is happily married with a son and has survived COVID, believe it or not. She survived it. And she's one of the highest grossing episodes of this blessed interview segment. Uh, I miss you, Mel Mel. Hope all is well right now. And the other one, I've kind of ran into her after we stopped talking. I thought permanent. And I found out that 7 years ago she went to Florida, and 7 years later she's returning under not quite so happy circumstances, but she's returning. I was amazingly going to a store, and I was listening to a recent episode of this interview segment with a certain Polish love, my Polish love, Sandra, and I hope all is well with you. I made it up to the part where we're talking about vacations or whatnot for my parents, based off a certain sweepstakes that I'll talk about, because we're going to talk about attracting money that you actually did help me with. Uh, all right, so I'm listening to myself with the Florida bit, and then all of a sudden I'm looking to my left after getting my medication. I said, "What? What a coincidence! Not a coincidence that I'm listening to myself talk about your trip to Florida, and then there you are in your car or your boyfriend's car. Ain't that funny?" And we talked, my second fiance and I, and to think about her life, I say these words out loud. And I cried at the end of the previous episode before this one, thinking about it. I'm happy and grateful. Things did not work out. I'm happy and grateful it did not work out because I see how miserable she is. She don't have to tell me anything. I've always known how miserable she can be. I can tell when she's happy and whatnot. She could never hype, and she never will hype. She could try. She could try. No. And I always say these words when I stand outside of the place that I used to live with her, but she lives in currently. I'm happy and grateful you're alive. I hope all is well. I think they say that it's part of this thing called the Hana Anopono, if I remember that term correctly. And I could hear you, Mayuko Fukino. You're losing your junk because I actually did say something along the lines of it. And whenever I say that, it's not just with my exes, it's for myself. Funny, I actually worked for Amazon almost a year now, and I still kind of say it on and off. But it's not for them. It's for me. It's for me. All right, beloved. Manifestations, manifestations. Let's go with it. So, how did you really notice you were actually manifesting what you wanted?
Yeah, well, I would say it started with my now husband, but my boyfriend at the time. Um, Again, when I was a single mom, my daughter, I was leaving a relationship truly with nothing. I had my daughter and I had a couple of black trash bags and I had places to stay, but no place to live. I wasn't able to move out of state with my family because of just custody reasons. I wouldn't be able to take my daughter out of state unless I was driving back and forth, which wasn't an option. So I was really in a stuck space and I was not looking for a relationship at all, not at all. But I did know that I had this space in my heart for another human where I could build a family and a space of safety and security for my daughter and I. And what I did, I got this tip actually from a friend, is I took a bright yellow sticky note. And at the very top of the sticky note, I wrote down my top negotiables, non negotiables in a man. So, what were the qualities that I wanted in my future partner and Presley's future stepfather? And I wrote it down very, very clearly. And again, it was on a bright yellow sticky note that I wouldn't miss. Um, and I know that I don't remember exactly what they were, but it was one of the non-negotiables is that he needed to have no unhealthy addictions. So, like, not to drugs or to alcohol or anything like that. Another one is that he needed to support my entrepreneurial spirit. That was a huge
Aw.
one because I've always been an entrepreneur. Um, I love this industry so much. Another one was, of course, that he would adore not only me, but most importantly, Presley, and really welcome her into his arms and his life and his family. And so there was a total of five. And I wrote those on the sticky note, and then I folded it in half and I put it in my wallet. And one of the things with manifestation, you don't necessarily have to look at it every single day and constantly remind yourself. Really, we want to take it from a conscious thought to a subconscious thought. And that's usually why we will say an affirmation repeatedly, is we'll take it from something that's conscious, like, okay, I'm a money magnet. And then you say it again and again until you really do believe it. And suddenly you're attracting money and you're like, wow, I find money on the ground. I get coupons, I get discounts, I get grants, I get whatever it is. So that's the intention if we do have the practice and the art of repeating it. But for me, with this example, I wasn't looking for a husband right away. I was just putting my order into the universe very clearly to say, hey, like when the time is right, here's what I'm looking for. And so every time I would open my wallet, I would see that bright yellow sticky note, and I didn't have to read it, but I kind of like got this little wink from the universe, like knowing that it was working behind the scenes for me. And
Oh,
long story short, it was such a beautiful coincidence. But so Presley and I had moved out, and I was staying with a Bible study leader at the time. And I had this pull on my heart that was really a very, very much an intentional tug. And it was for me to connect with a person that I had gone on a date with. Like literally nothing happened. I think it was 7 years prior. We were in college. We met in a dance class. And it was like, I felt like I needed to apologize to him because I was kind of full of myself in college. I was like dating these 6 foot built athletes on the tennis team. Like I was doing my thing. I was like up at 5 a.m. in the gym. Like I wasn't my best self when I was younger. And so I remember this guy who was so gentle, he was so kind, so sweet. Met him in that social dance class, and he was kind of shy. And he asked me on a few dates. So I was like, cool, free food. This is awesome. So we went on a couple of dates. Again, I was not evolved as I am now. And we had a great time. And I really did truly feel treasured and valued. And even though I wasn't attracted to him at the time, my heart was very much attracted to how he made me feel and the energy that he brought to the table. And so that was that. And so that was it. That was before MySpace. That was when I had like a flip phone.
oh,
I didn't have his number. I didn't have any social media. So he's kind of parted ways. And again, like nothing happened. There was no attachment. But I guess what I had told him is, he's like, are you ready to take it to the next level? We've been on a couple dates. And I said, you know what? You are great boyfriend material, but it's not what I'm looking for right now. I pieced out. Again, I was like in my teens, and because I was 17 when I was when I was in college. So I was like 17, 18. And anyways, fast forward to when I was a single mom, and this person showed up on my heart again. And I was like, I feel like I need to apologize to him because I don't know why, but I feel like I need to. I haven't talked to him, and I didn't know how to spell his name because his name is Farhad. How do you spell that? What are the vowels? Far,For? Like I don't know. I didn't know his last name, which ironically is now mine, Ahmadzai. But I felt this pull and tug on my heart so intensely. So I went to my computer and I went to Facebook and I typed in Farhad. And I'd actually like looked him up before, never found him, never thought of anything beyond that. But this time I found someone, and we had one mutual friend in college. And I knew she didn't just add people randomly. I knew that she was really selective with the people who were on her friends list. So I was in this total flow, and I said, hey, I'm looking for a Farhad, sent him a message. If I have the wrong person, let me know. But I'm looking for Farhad. Yeah, if I have the wrong person, then no worries. And he's like, yep, I remember you. We went on a couple of dates. So we talked back and forth, and I said, hey, are you available to chat tonight? And he's like, I can't. I'm going out with some friends, but I can talk tomorrow. And I was like, perfect. Okay, how about 10 a.m.? He's like, okay, great. Can I ask why? And I was like, oh my gosh, stupid. Like, I have no idea. I was just in such a flow that I did what felt right. And I didn't know what I was going to say. I didn't know why I wanted to connect with him, really. I mean, there's no reason for me to bring any of this up. And so I just sent like a happy face and a peace sign and said, tell you tomorrow. And so we did hop on a call, and I just told him, hey, I'm going through a separation right now, and it's kind of ugly. And I was thinking about when we had gone on those dates and how I felt treasured and valued and really cherished. And we had such a good time. And I don't know what you're doing in your life right now, but I really hope that you are excelling and exceeding and whatever you're doing. I just wish you the best. But I wanted to get that off of my chest and say, I'm sorry if there's anything I had said or done that maybe wasn't very kind. And that was that. So I got off the phone and I was like, hey, maybe I'll see you around. I just got it off of my chest, trusted that intuitive pull. That was it. He got off of the phone and he started pacing around his room saying, oh my gosh, like, I think that she said, I'll see you around. Maybe she wants me to ask her on a date. I had no intention of that. But I'm sharing this long story because thank goodness I put my order into the universe. Thank goodness I followed my heart and the pull, even though I was like, stupid, stupid, stupid. Thank goodness that he answered and it was like, hey, I think that she wants me to ask her on a date. And that he finally did ask me on a date. And now here we are together 6 years later, married, and he has checked all of the boxes off of that beautiful sticky note. And he is so much more than I ever could have imagined. And so when I realized that I manifested my amazing kingly partner, not only for me, but as a stepfather for my daughter, as we build our life together, I was like, wow, this is incredible. This works. And this is a method that I'm so excited to teach to other clients and friends beyond in the future. And so that's actually also included as one of the tools I share in this book. So that's really when it happened for me, again, after I was a single mom, and then looking at how far that has taken me. And there's so many other things that have been huge that I didn't think were possible, but I implemented my tools to manifest, even being featured in a book, but also income, also clients, also opportunities. And so now it's second nature.
Yeah, hon. Oh God. I remember reading your book and losing my junk. I said, oh God, she got the husband. She got this car that she was looking for. She got off of the wick. She's got like a what was it? I think you actually had like a $20,000 check actually given back to you, and you were holding it, and you screamed like, "Ah! I actually got my $20,000 in a day." I I was actually imagining it as I was reading it, and I could hear your voice. I said, "Oh God, this is great beans." And then you talked about possibly being a small little child, and that really pulled on my heart. I think I did cry when I was done reading it. I said, "Oh man, no wonder she's the last chapter and she's magic too." And thanks, Blair, for making her the last chapter. That was great beats. Oh man, oh man. And last year, it was like the moment I saw you, it was as if one thing started to change in my relationship with money. And you were talking about how to generate it, how to attract it, and you were applying what you wrote in She Is Magic too. And one thing that stood out to me, you were like, "Oh, talk to your money, treat it like a human being, laugh with it, do some of these other silly things." And I'm listening off different style that you actually were saying. I'm laughing, but I'm going along with it. I don't know why. Something was telling me to just go along with it. So I started actually blessing my money kind of a little bit slowly but surely. I actually have two dog chains. Uh, let me see. Oh, money, money. Oh, there they are. Okay, I see them. Little penny love. Uh, da, 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 da. Okay, yes. Here they are. My dog's Money and Penny. Say hello to Penny. Say hello to Money. Ah, and I got the money and the penny because it was a download. I said, okay, I want to name my keychains. They can represent me and the Honeykins. So okay, money, money. That's what I want. That's what I want to be. Okay, so the male is the money. All right, the female, she's kind of brownish looking.
Penny. Okay, there we go. Money Penny. And then I laughed that James Bond's biggest uh, female crush is this woman named Money Penny. So I put the two together. I said, oh, me and my love of James Bond. I practically laughed after I realized what I did. I said, it's enough that I take a shower named after James Bond, but now my dogs are named after this wonderful hun that he smushes here and there. Nice. Uh, but you really have helped me as far as attracting money or the feeling of the money. Like now, I've actually touched upon this in several episodes, and I'm not ashamed. I'm not ashamed to talk about it again. All right, so kids, rewind. All right, Amazon, my beloved Amazon. I've been there nearly a year. They have actually given out these rewards, if you want to use air quotes, for those that actually did get vaccinated in hopes that maybe others will say, okay, we're willing to get stuck in our arms with needles. Why not? So about 2 weeks ago, we actually did have $100,000 given to three souls. Just a few days ago, I would say a new vehicle or equivalent of $40,000. Next week, I believe, is supposed to be 100,000 again. The following week is supposed to be, I think, a travel package. And get this, kids, you'll still laugh when I say these words. All right. Maximum amount of time is like 40 hours unpaid. Oh, God. Amazon, I love you, but why? Why is unpaid more than pay time? I will never understand. Oh God. I love you, Amazon, for all you did, but that is make me shake my head. All right, and here we are, the month of October. The grand prize for 2 weeks. You're gonna lose your junk, and I can see it right now. All right. So I'm still in awe when I say this. $500,000 for being vaccinated to 6 worthy souls. 3 in a span of a day for 2 weeks. Eh. Eh. What is this? So I've been coming across random things of money this year. I've seen lotto tickets on the floor. I've seen pennies, dimes, and quarters, nickels on floors, depending on where I am. I noticed a certain lotto ticket or two that says on the top, $1 million payout bonus. The other says $3 million fortune. And I'm thinking, as I'm hearing more about this Amazon business, what does that got to do with me? What does that got to do with me? Why am I being attracted to this? And maybe that's the universe's way of saying, congratulations, Zachary Shiloh. You're possibly getting ready to get out of Amazon, but you may actually have a payout that is stronger than what you're making. I'm saying to myself, what if I did win? I know I have a slim chance because it's millions of people that do work for Amazon. I'm not lying. So, but let's go with the feeling of it. How would that feel? I don't care if it's 100,000. I don't care if it was 500,000. I would prefer the 500. I would prefer the 500. But I said, you know what? What if it was just a how would that? I would love it. That would give me enough money to really just hang out for like maybe a year or two. I don't spend a lot of money.
I don't. I mainly keep to myself. I don't really watch TV. I don't really pay rent. I want to send my parents away and a whole bunch of other things. And I want to pursue the biggest thing in my heart. And you kind of inspired it in a sense. Love. This thing that I've been calling nearly a year now, called Love's Roar, or now the evolved form of it with Mayuko, Mayuko Fukinohan, uh, called Fear the Love's Roar, coming December 2021. Hopefully, if we stay alive. Amazing. Amazing how life can treat you. And I'm still in that vibration until October. What if I win? What if I win? And I could feel that flow state or the higher form of it that Mayoko and I call the flow tastic as I talk about it. I can see it, what I can do with it, how I would be, how would I feel. And I'm not letting go of that feeling. And you, hon, thank you very much for being part of Blair Summit. That absolutely helped trigger it. And I saw your thing. I think you offered it again, um, for being part of the Queenly Entrepreneurs group. So I said, okay, I'll watch it again. And then I'm writing out basically almost everything that I could, but I was on a time limit. So I just took screenshots. All right, here's the biggest point, another point, another point, another point. And then it just started flowing easily. Like, ooh. And the biggest thing I want to do with that money, I make no secrets about it. And I don't care who's listening. I love me some Polish love. I love me some Sandra Stockwitz, my beautiful friend from Scotland by way of Poland. I want to go see the Polish love live and in color and experience her maybe for a few days and see how things are outside of America. I've never been abroad ever, ever. I've always been in New York, always been in New Jersey, always been in PA. But I see why I possibly didn't go with my fiance to Florida. Maybe I was unknowingly waiting for an opportunity to get out of America for a while. We'll see how it goes. Oh, love. I actually did join your group unknowingly. And what you do there is amazing. Your actual team are so supportive. I I remember you were doing this 5 days course recently, and they were actually asking me questions and whatnot. I think what's this beautiful fun's name? Kiara Jasmine, I think that's her name. She was asking about your queenly playlist. I said this, and I think I said this exactly. I'm not a Queenie hunt, but I will actually listen to what's being played. And she said, okay, here you go. I said, oh, that's great. That is great, hunt. Thank you very much. And what's this other beautiful spirit? Katie Bertol. Oh, Katie. Oh, how I love you so. You are great. You are great, hon. And I'm looking forward to getting you on here eventually. She literally took care of me like the first day I was actually marathoning your stuff. And she was making sure that I actually did the homework and keeping up with you. I said, if I didn't know better any better, she was like my wife. in a
Thank
different.
you so much. Yeah, that the 5 day challenge that we had, it's to align your energy to manifest 20K. And I am so blessed to have such an amazing team. And yes, Katie Bergtold, she is my vice president of community development. So she is doing her job. That's what it is, because I am one human and I can feel so
Yeah.
spread thin with everything that is required of me in a day as content creator, CEO, mom, wife, chef, like, and then also graphic designer, all of these back end things. And so I have Katie and Kiara. They are really, and I have more people who are joining our team as well to really make sure that everybody is able to enjoy the content, really implement it. And then I also have the amazing Sadie K, who's my VP
Ah, I
creative
was just
design.
about to mention her if you didn't. Oh, Sadie. How I love her so too. She's absolutely phenomenal. I actually watched your interview with her, and very great decision making with hiring her.
Oh yeah,
Like,
she was all of them very intuitive. Katie and Sadie in particular were like they are the other legs that help the business and the brand of the Queenly Entrepreneur, and Ashley Ahmadzai LLC truly stand firm, and I'm so grateful for them. But both of them came through intuitive downloads, especially Sadie, because I didn't know her. I was just praying for the right person to come into my space, and I clicked a few buttons on Facebook, and then I was to her, and then I immediately messaged her and said, "Hey, let's talk. I'd love to work with you." And boom. And so now she's absolutely incredible, and we are going to scale to many, many millions together. I'm so honored and so grateful. So I'm excited to hear and elated to hear that you had such a wonderful experience in the academy, because it really is a beautiful space. And I want this group to be one of the most exciting places to hang out in the internet, where people can get together and we can be real and raw and honest, but we can also be honest with our goals and what it is that we want, what we desire. No dream is too big or too small. We're here to support each other, and knowing that we have people on our team and in the community who are going to lift you up as well, no matter where you're at in that space. It's very, very
oh,
important to us.
I actually may not be a Queenie one, but the support in that group is amazing. There's this Spanish one. I'm trying to remember what her name was. But she actually was a mother, and I did talk to her for a smidge, and she was so warm, so loving and caring. I said, "Oh, thanks for the support, man. I appreciate it." Oh man, oh man. All right, Ashley, I understand that you gotta go soon. So we're gonna actually hit like two more topics real quick and then the outro stuff. All right. We talked about the positive sides of manifestation and praising the Blorkins and all this other good stuff. All right, hun. I think I touched upon this with Victoria Masco. And let's see what you say. All right. Have you ever felt like you were manipulating the universe in any form or shape?
Never. And the reason is because I really do come from a place of pure intention, and having a lot of darkness in my childhood, I knew I knew what not to do. I knew what I did not want. And I'm so grateful that everything had happened, that I had exposure to people who were not on on an ascended wavelength, because I saw what darkness looked like. I knew what revenge looked like. I knew what evil looked like, honestly, growing up. And so for me personally, as I'm manifesting, because I know what I don't want to be and how I don't want to show up, I have always been in integrity of whatever it is that I want to call in. It's for the greater good of all. And also, that is manifestation. If because the universe is pure. So even if a human comes with negative or ill intention, it's probably not going to come true for them unless it does involve the greater good of all. So no, I don't ever. It's kind of like a little child who's trying to like manipulate a parent who knows what's going on. Like even if a child's like, "Ooh, I'm going to sneak around the corner and she's not going to know that I have this cookie," right? The parent's still going to like I know that you have the cookie, so no, you're not going to get one. So I have never felt that I'm manipulating the universe because I'm simply putting my order in and saying, hey, this is what I would like. And I'm also open to this or something better. And that's a really important piece of manifestation as well, because it doesn't always show up exactly as you want it. For example, my husband, he is more than I ever could have imagined. I love him so dearly, but he is not in the package that I was expecting at all. In
No.
fact, the first time I was like, no, you're you're great boyfriend material. It's not what I'm looking for. So if we white knuckle our idea of what it is that we want to manifest, and that's when it can feel like manipulation, like it has to be this and this and this and this and this, then it might not show up that way. So we are really coming from a place of surrender and trusting and saying, hey, like, where would you have me go? What would you have me do? What would you have me say? And to whom I'm ready, willing, and aligned to call in and receive these great blessings. I'm open to what I have desire, what I desire, and something better. There's not manipulation. It really is a space of trust and surrender and being and allowing. And that's the most peaceful form.
Oh, I love that reply. I did actually channel that question with Victoria, and I don't know what brought it on. I've seen people successfully manifest stuff, but I always wanted to know, like, did you ever feel that way? I don't ever hear people uh when they're talking about the actual law of attraction or universal laws ever say, "Oh, do you feel that way?" They always trying to make it happy, 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 but something was telling me, like, go and ask it. Be original.
Well, there's this other side of it that not manifestation. Um, But there's another side that's like voodoo and black magic, which is the manipulation of a free will of somebody else. And and even like narcissism, right? Where we are like intentionally manipulating the energy of other people to get what we want, and which could be seen as a manifestation of like, oh, I got this partner that I wanted because of blah, blah, blah. Now, there is a darker shadow side that I have no participation in, and I totally stay away from, and I could see how that could be an answer yes to your question, right? Like, are there people out there who with intention will try to manipulate the universe and manipulate the environment around them? Yes.
Hmm.
And there are really, really powerful, for example, like voodoo and spells, and like there's in black magic, there's a lot there that I'm completely unavailable for. So again, I like do not participate in, and I have a hard line with that. Again, my background is as a psychic, and the reason why I don't lean in and like market myself fully as a psychic is because these lines can be blurred, and I never want to be entangled in that or never be perceived in that way. So there can be, yes, on the other side, there is a shadow side to that. But where I stay and where I teach my clients to really align their truth is with their heart, with their integrity, and to become honestly a co-creator with the universe, because we aren't here to manipulate, we're here to be guided.
Okay, and here we are with the last two topics, and then outro time. Okay, a certain Blair Hayes has come out of the shadows and announced that she has a fibromyalgia, and she has listed 5 people that she's produced in the last year. Uh, 2 of them are talking right now, kids, right now, and she accredits uh the queen over here as somebody that actually brought her to the forefront of the fibromyalgia thing. So, Ashley, as we get ready to wrap this up, can you enlighten my listeners a little bit more?
Yeah, so fibromyalgia, as I had mentioned in my past, I've always had a a wrestle with whether chronic illness or cancer or having my heart stop and having Hashimoto's, all sorts of things. And so one of the things that I do currently wrestle with now is fibromyalgia. And it's very prevalent in high performing entrepreneurs because we tend to focus on our goals and really drive home at whatever whatever it takes. And sometimes our body can be left in the dust. And I really do feel that our fibromyalgia, which is a brain pain disorder that can show up for us, it's kind of an alarm system that really slows us down. And it's something that even this morning, I was texting my husband and I'm like, my legs are on fire. My bones and my joints, like in my elbows, like they're on fire. And that's a symptom of fibro, is not only extreme fatigue, it's difficult to get out of bed, but also having severe muscle and joint pain, sometimes even brain fog. If I'm really in a flare up, luckily it was just a small one. I think I just need to tap into my holistic practices more. It is very serious. It is a hidden illness that a lot of people don't feel comfortable talking about, because we can look fine on the outside, but really on the inside, we can be experiencing a lot of pain, and it has held me back in some launches. Not really with my client work, because I get so excited to be on, on Zoom or on calls with clients, but
Uh-huh.
it is something that can be very challenging when it comes to social situations. So yeah, it is something that I manage. It is on the daily. I have most of the time I'm feeling really great, and then I'll have a flare up. And when I do, it can be actually very scary. It's one of the scariest things I've ever experienced. And I can go into more detail if you would like. But one of the ways that we connected is I was really shy to talk about my fibro because I didn't want my clients to feel that they couldn't depend on me. I didn't want my clients to feel that they couldn't sign up with me because I wouldn't be able to perform, because that's so not true. But what I realized is that, again, so many high performing entrepreneurs experience fibro, and it is very, very severe. It's very difficult. A lot of people don't understand it. I'm so grateful to have an amazing husband who does understand, because he's seen me running around doing all the things, and he's also seen me to the point where I don't have the strength to walk, which does happen, and even my breathing becomes labored because everything is in pain. Um, there's even one time when it's like my muscles and joints get so weak that I'm not able to like hold a pencil. I'm not able to even walk. And one of the times I took a nap and I sprained my hip, because everything was just so loose. And doctors are still figuring it out. We're running more tests to make sure it's not multiple sclerosis or ALS or something, which I'm unavailable for it to be either of those because they are degenerative disorders, but it's really scary. So my husband has seen and witnessed what's Ashley as a high performer and what is Ashley who's very sick. And so I'm starting this series on YouTube, which is about being a high performing entrepreneur and what it's like actually what it's like from the inside, not just the clinical diagnosis. And then also I'm going to have my husband featured as well, where he's going to be sharing with other partners of like, hey, here's what you can expect. Here's how you can take care of your partners. Here are like the thoughts and whatnot. So that way women and men, we can move forward in our goals, whether or not we have an illness, whether or not we are feeling, depression or sadness or whatever it is. I want people to know that God-sized dream on their heart is available and possible to them. And truly, you are unstoppable. We really got to start with clearing the abundance blocks and really aligning our mindset with our truth and what we would love to have be possible for us. So yeah, fibro is my current lesson. It is my medicine for me as I dive even deeper into my healing journey, and then also the tools and resources that I create and share with my clients.
Oh, and that's one thing that actually had me interview you. I have a history with fibro. I don't have it myself, but a certain somebody who guessed it for me. And I remember as you were talking, holding Mel Mel close to me. And sometimes it felt like she was on fire, that she couldn't do what she wanted to do. And I think sometimes we'd cry together. And watching you, I cried. And I knew I had to talk to you because Blair, she told me you cried. And I knew I had to do something. I didn't know what, but you came into the peripheral vision at the right time. And thank you for doing so. Because Blair, our beloved Blair, she needed somebody in our family to speak up,
Yeah.
and that was you.
Thank
And
you.
I would love to bring you back on maybe next month or the month after and continue that actual talk of fibro and everything else. All right, hun, it's time to start hitting the outro. Okay, with that said, the outro has changed. I do not do things like I used to. All right, so the hopes for the future, my beloved Queen Ashley, are
Oh, for me?
yes, you.
Yes, I have so many big dreams. And as I mentioned, it's just an order into the universe. And I know that God, angels, guides have so they are planning for me, for my clients, for my family, so much bigger than I could ever possibly imagine. So I'll lead with that because I'm such a faithful person and saying, like, I know that if I lead with my heart and the greatest intention moving forward, like miracles are going to happen no matter what. But I do have this vision right now. I've launched the Queenly Entrepreneur Program, which is a year-long mentorship with me. You have all the support that you need, where we really focus on clearing abundance blocks, tapping into your psychic and intuitive abilities so you can amplify your manifestation potential and abilities, because you're able to see subtle energies, and you're able to see what you want to manifest. And there are a series of other tools that I had mentioned earlier that I've downloaded that have helped me manifest very quickly with intention. So it's not only for, clearing blocks, understanding manifestation, but also using energy in your business too. So we talked about like the math, the magic, and the mission. So marketing strategy, mindset, energy work, and then the mission, because we're all going to be aligning our goals with the overall mission to contribute to the world and our growth and our ascension and ultimately our expansion as women. And so this year-long program, I just recently launched it in the past few months, is my heart, my baby. And the next year for sure, I would love to have at least 500 people in this program, ultimately thousands and thousands. It is my flagship as we grow and continue to hire more people on our team who can support that influx. And I know that once people are in my space and once they have these tools, we are truly creating this pulse and this ripple effect that goes out, and our generation will never be the same. Our kids will never be the same once we know these tools, once we reteach these tools. And so also creating a certification program for anyone who is a graduate of the Queenly Entrepreneur. I do have the 20K club because that's part of my branding as well. One of my biggest things I wanted to manifest was 20,000. So I think we have 8 people this year so far who have hit we've welcomed into the 20K club, where you're manifesting out of nowhere 20,000 in a month or in a day. So I'd love to have hundreds more in our 20K club, as well as being able to get the message out as much as possible on podcasts, on TV shows, on speaking on stages. And that's my main focus right now, is not necessarily like fame and promotion, but like how can I utilize the tools that we have to get this message out to the world, so that way we are making massive change. Because the people in QE already, just like, oh, it's incredible to see what they're able to manifest by simply aligning, clearing their blocks and aligning their mindset with possibility.
Oh dear God, I support you wholly, hun. And I said this jokingly, but I mean it wholly. If I was a queenie, hun, I actually would join you. Seriously, I love you as a coach. You rock, my dear. But
Thank
sadly,
you.
I'm not a female, so I can't do it. Anyways, moving on. Uh, right before I do the second part, there is a specific person who was actually in the Queenly Entrepreneurs group that I know of. Hello, one Jamie Valeka Arner or Jamikins. Hello out there, old friend. Yeah, so you got a testimony from her, and I knew you two were conversing back and forth and whatnot, but I thought it was absolutely cool that she actually testified that your stuff was good. So, kids out there, ask Jamie Valeka how great the Queen Hun is over here.
Yeah, Jamie was recently welcomed into the 20K club as well.
Yeah, for you, Jamie can. Yes, hun, yes. Yes, hun, yes. Yes, hun, yes. That's good for you. All right. Uh, I think I've already touched upon this, but I'll say it anyway. Three people that you would recommend, if not today, within the next week to a month. Can I have them?
Recommend for a podcast interview?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. I can get you those names. The first person that came to mind was Blair, and the second two people who came to mind were the women on my team.
Oh, hun, I was just about to beat you to punch and say, usually I would say that, but I think I've already shouted out three names that I would love to feature on here, and they were repeating again. One Kiara Jasmine, one Katie Bertolg, and one Sadie. I would love your full team to be interviewed, madam. I would.
Wonderful. I will pass that along. They are so incredible. I'm blessed. I'm so blessed. I think some people think of their employees like, you're lucky I pay you, or like their assistants. I've kind of heard that energy towards people, but my team knows that this is a sisterhood, like they're VPs for a reason. Um, I'm actually flying my team out to the other end of the country. We're going from Nevada to Miami for a conference,
Oh,
and they have their I've got making their own business cards. Like we are going to be a self-made multi-million dollar company in the next 2 years because I have these women on either side. So yes, they will bring so much value. I'm certain of it.
oh, I love your team, Hope. And all you girls out there. I actually love you wholly. I would welcome you with all arms wide open for even just 30 minutes. I do not care how long you're here, as long as you're here to talk to me and talk about how you work for Ashley. That would be an honor to all three of you. So please consider, please consider being interviewed by me in the next month or two or even three. I truly would appreciate it. And I will contact you all. All right, hon. The last bit. What can I, Zachary Shiloh, do for you, my beloved Ashley Ahmadzai?
Yeah, well, wonderful question. Honor that you would ask. I would say the number one thing is you've already done it, is sharing and promoting this episode and getting this message out to as many people as possible, because that's really my goal. Is I would love to touch as many hearts with this information and for people to connect with me on my platforms. Ashley Ahmadzai, I'm the only one. Instagram or Facebook are great opportunities. Instagram, I would say, is the best to connect with me and truly reach out and say, hey, I listened to this episode with Zachary Shiloh. This
All
is what
right.
this is what stood out to me, and I'd love to connect or discuss more. I have so many freebies that I share with people on money manifestation, on lead generation, on money blocks, so many things. And so I would love to gift your audience and anyone who's listening with a freebie, with a conversation, with anything I can do to truly support them. So what you
Aw,
could do is simply sharing this and allowing me to be on your platform and share it with your audience.
and thank you for coming, love. And like I said, within the next month or two, I hope to bring you back because I would like to talk further about your fibro and other things. All right, so here we go, the true outro. One goal, one aim, one road, one focus, you beautiful hunskins and loves out there. It is called love. Even if it sounds like I'm venting at times, I have and I will. I have what they call passion. I'm passionate about her. I'm passionate about the people in this house that I live with. I am passionate about all of you out there, your beautiful Hunskins and loves. With that said, this has concluded Zachary Shiloh's world tour of September 17th, 2021. I bow humbly in respects to you. And for what it looks like to me, kids, I'm starting to negotiate for other appearances in this wonderful domain, especially within our wonderful magic family. A certain Reiki master has pinged me, and I will respond to her shortly. I will see you in the next episode of the general flotastic zone called Black Lions Airspace. Thanks again, you loves. See you soon. Bye.